everybody knew what a downwinder was. We were the anti-nuclear capital of the world. I was an autistic kid. My father was a drafted United States Marine, an incredible man. I come from an incredible family. My uncle stood on Omaha Beach on D-Day. I grew up on a huge ranch out by the lake. He was a beautiful, incredible person. He was at Pendleton, combat ready, and they were human guinea pig. They were marched into the trenches in Nevada. They're called atomic veterans. He nearly died at the blast. Between 1951 and 1968, we had 300 open-air tests. Well, as different scientists started to write about this, Wallace Stegner was at the University of Utah at the time. I got to know him. Edward Abbey was hanging around there. I got to know him. I got to know all these environmentalists, and I was an environmentalist, and it was a passionate, intense subject matter there.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. Bloomgate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. Bloomgate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. They'll be calling you a radical. May God have mercy on all of your souls.
Nuclear power was evolving. We were promised, oh, this can't happen. It will never happen. We cannot have a meltdown.
Well, good morning. I'm back to civilization, where I can actually make a phone call, use some technology. What a journey. Oh my, what a journey. I'm in Santa Cruz. If any of you are cruising around Santa Cruz, give me a call today. But anyway, what a journey. What a path. So, I don't know where to begin. I guess begin at the beginning, what I've seen. This walk. Some of it I've walked twice. Putting in a lot of miles a day. Like tremendous amount of miles a day. Some of it's on a hard walk, some of it's on a easy walk. But started the 10th with the monk walking to Diablo Canyon from San Luis Obispo. So, which was powerful stuff. We walked, got to the gates. They want to call it Diablo Canyon. I guess we call it the gates of hell. Stood right there a long time. He prayed as they came out. Pretty well at the exact moment that Fukushima happened. The greatest ecological catastrophe in human history that the entire world is in denial about, especially California. So he bows to them. We stood in line. There's 8 of us. Mothers for Peace. Spent the night with Mothers for Peace. Jane, Linda, the whole herd of them. Little event in San Luis Obispo. Then back over to Pismo. And the next day, started my walk from Pismo. Got to go from the far side of Pismo, not right in downtown. I mean, the south side of Pismo, where they still are able to drive on the beach. That is a circus from hell over there. I mean, an insane circus. People come in from all over. They dress up with some kind of cartoon characters. Have their kids dressed up like that. On motorcycles, jet skis, whatever. I never seen anything like it. I go off about surfers that can't surf, skiers that can't ski. I mean, it's some kind of clown circus. They're dressed up like some kind of cartoon characters, and it's pure insanity. So, Pismo, lots of dead birds all over. So then up the road through Little Shell City, where people think they own clear to the sea, which they don't, by the way. I've been dealing with the California state and where I can walk and where I can't. There's an old grandfathered law in that there's 20-foot right-of-way through any of these things, just so you know. You walk right through the yard. For real. I've had it verified by me, by many people. You know, there's one place right there in Shell City, you got to walk up a brow. It's going to take you another 2 miles just because some asshole thinks he owns it. I said, I'm cutting through your yard on the cliff there. No, you're not. Well, I said, what are you going to do, shoot me? Well, no. And I said, I'm not hurting anything. So I just did it. So up along the sea, I go. Walking. First off, of course, starving to death sea lions. The females. Lots of starving to death females. Talking to people, you know, it's not just a walk along the beach and some kind of walking meditation, which it is, but I'm communicating with, you know, salty people, talking to people that know, and not the rangers, because they don't know. They drive up and back and down their, you know, vehicles. I've been given so much bad information, and then I have to verify the information. I mean, with my own eyes, people are in denial. So I start looking at the tide pools immediately. I've looked at well over 10,000 tide pools. They're empty. All of them. I haven't seen one single starfish. I talk to people, oh, we have lots of starfish, sea anemones right around. I'm like, oh, yeah, really? Come here, come look. Oh, wow, I guess I haven't been down there for a long time. You know? How would you know? I mean, it's like right in their backyard. Fukushima right in their backyard. They don't see it. So walking along, you know, out in Harmony, you know, out in the middle of freaking that coastal area, dead pine trees everywhere. Big pine trees. Now, we want to talk about this first and foremost. We'll start with the dead pines and the starfish. They always have an excuse. Everybody's got an excuse. You talk, oh, yeah, well, the news said that, you know, some kind of starfish were going from, I don't even know what they call it, some kind of, they made up another word. It's kind of like ISIS. They make up a washing, whooshing. I mean, some bullshit word disease, which is a lie. You know, total lie. Oh, that's what's doing it. Oh, really? They're so full of shit. So, pine trees. Oh, it was beetles. It's not beetles. And I don't even know where that story got cooked up. It's never been said that it was beetles. It's not beetles. You know, and so even the California State Rangers are confirming, yeah, it's solar radiation. So I asked them, oh, really? Solar radiation. You have a device that you can tell the tree has died from solar radiation versus man-made nuclear fission radiation from Fukushima. Boy, I want to see that device. No, we don't have one. Then why are you saying that? Don't you get Fukushima? And the same guy that told me that, he says, well, you know, I've been picking up a lot of debris on the beach from Fukushima, especially last fall. Hello. You know, they're in denial. I mean, they're so comfortable down here because of their rising equity in their home and, you know, people zipping back and forth in their car. They don't see anything. I mean, I'm standing out there. I saw some whales, some grays. I said, look, there's some grays. I'm talking to people in the pool out. And they're taking videos of squirrels. Oh, and the Japanese ones are the worst. That's what kills me. You know, you're from Japan. You know, they can speak broken English, and you know, they won't even talk about Fukushima. Won't even mention it. And then, hey, there's some whales that they're taking videos of squirrels. You know, the tourism economy. You know, false bravado. Everybody's created their own personal Ponzi scheme called their real estate, their house. Oh, you know, this beautiful place. So I'm really taken back at the big, majestic, incredible dead pines down here. Especially, oh, wow. So, walking, the sea lions, oh, they're starving to death. Now, think about that. The mamas and the babies starving to death. So, you know, it's the youth that tell me the truth. The under 30 are the only people down here that get it. And they do get it. Everybody I've met under 30 down here, oh, they get it. Because they have to get it. They understand the usury complex. They understand what our generation has done to them. Oh, they get it. You know, they work for our organizations. They do things. And so you're talking to them, and it's like, well, Kevin, they you talk to these older people, well, you really think Fukushima's a problem? No, it's just 3 full core meltdowns pointed at the Pacific Ocean for 1,475 days. No, that's nothing. No, that doesn't mean shit. It's like, and then the big thing that I really can't overstate this is I'm talking to so many people that I meet. I mean, it will blow your mind how many people I meet. I mean, just unbelievable. My dad, first guy I meet, Pismo, talking to him, because he had a camera right there. My dad died in 2012 of AML. I said, really? Had exactly the same AML as me. Went through the chemo cycle and it took his life. I said, doesn't that alarm you? Well, yeah. Don't you think maybe Fukushima's a component? Nuclear fallout. We know the only causes of AML leukemia. The only known causes of AML leukemia. It's a fact. It is a fact. Is exposure to radiation and or benzene. Like some mechanics get it, different people from the fuels. But we know those are the facts. When I got leukemia, you have to fill out a packet from the United States government. You should see this packet. I mean, it's 100 pages. That's all it is. What were you exposed to? What were you exposed to? What were you exposed to? Now, I want people to understand this too. I've had a nightmare trying to upload any kind of video content. I mean, what I'm working with, where, how, when, forget it. I try to pop into a little public library here and there, whatever, and good luck to you there. By the way, Santa Cruz, the homeless population is completely out of control here. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. I was over there at the public library yesterday. I mean, there's hundreds, literally hundreds. Now, and it's that way all across America. It's a disturbing fact that we ignore there too, that this usury-based 1% economy, what the tariff, freaking people don't understand and get. I mean, talk about a fairy tale that this country is living in. California is in the biggest fairy tale ever. It's right under their feet. They don't care. So I'm going along, sleeping in my sleeping bag on the sea, and I got out there between below San Simeon, up there, there's a Camarillo. That walk about did me in that day. Going up there, I put in 20 miles that day, and it got hot, really hot. That one hurt me. It hurt my feet right up to get. It's too bad because I really had to pay the price for the next several days. I really suffered there for a while. I went too far that day in too much heat. But I wanted to see it because I'm cutting back in and out of the canyons. Now, up along there, the state of California has done some great work. They've taken that whole coastal region back. It's about half a mile between the sea and the highway. And halfway between the sea and the highway, they've fenced it, kicked the dogs out. The big thing is the dog walkers down here. They're destroying California. They can't communicate with anybody. Everybody's a dog walker. Oh, look, and they think this dog loves them. I mean, wow, I have dogs too. I love my dogs. They run free, whatever. But I understand they're a dog. They were never meant to be on a leash with a sweater on for anything. I mean, it's a horrible way for a dog to live. And, yeah, they're man's best friend, but they don't have personal interaction. You think they do. No, they don't. I always say it, stop feeding Fufu and Fifi and let the neighbors start feeding Fifi and see who the new friend is. So they're destroying the colony. They've kicked them out of there. And so, which they've done a lot of the coast of California. Now, so I'm walking up along there, the road gets narrow. By the way, down there, I can't believe what pricks people are down there. I mean, assholes, everybody. Another thing, too, I can't overstate this, the motorcycle riders. I want people to understand these guys that ride, and your girls in the middle age that ride motorcycles in packs together. When I was in the hospital, I learned this is something that I didn't know, and it made perfectly good sense. Tremendous amounts of the motorcycle riders that ride together in packs are getting leukemia. Lots of them, especially their women, their wives. So no, and here's my theory. They ride in those packs together. I mean, for hundreds of miles, breathing in those fumes, I mean, directly to their face, right there, all day, every day. That fuel's full of benzene. And, I mean, Judy died in there, Tracy, I can't believe how many, you know. So, very sad, very healthy, middle-aged people that were in great, you know, great people. But, so, walking along, by the way, Hearst had it figured out. Oh, my God, what a place in the world that is. Oh, did he have it figured out there. Wow, 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 San Simeon by the sea. Oh. Now, so the elephant seals have been in there breeding. It's that time of year. So you go down by there, and, you know, so you have these self-proclaimed volunteers. They're getting older and like, that's what we're going to do, honey. We live in Caracas or whatever it is down there, our cultural drunken theme park, because that's all California is. California is a drunken theme park on the coast. I'm talking on the coast. And, you know, I'm not talking about the individual communities. I'm talking about everybody just pours in here. You cannot tell one pier or coastal community from, and I've found them all now. I've covered them all, every last one of them now. I got to the last two between San Diego and San Francisco that I have not covered in the last 2-3 years. I got to them last night. Capitola, oh, I saved the best for last, I can tell you that. Oh, what a magnificent gem. You take that little drive, because, you know, I got kicked off the one yesterday. I got kicked off the one, and it was a good thing. You know, by the way, California police has been great with me. They've been really great with me. That's the one thing that I found out, you know, the sheriff, the highway patrol, they've been very friendly and great to me. The only place, the one, actually, it turns into a freeway. And I mean a full blown out freeway here coming from Watsonville into Santa Cruz. It's insane right there. And so I got booted, you know, and actually the cops actually gave me a ride to Watsonville. I'm glad they did. What a freaking romance that place is. You think Steinbeck, Cannery Roll, let's freaking go out there now. I would like to return here sometime and just spend in Steinbeck's place in Watsonville, Castroville, freaking Salinas, and just, you know, do work. I mean, the Mexican worker, the exploitation of the labor, whatever. Oh, what a hard edge, what a gem. So, you know, I had to take the bus in here because, I mean, the one's downright dangerous, or you can't, I mean, it's insanity there. So, but they say this is the only section, you know, and so anyway, back to the cliffs. So I'm walking up through there, dead senile. So I'm talking to a young guy from San Simeon, the Rescue Foundation gives me the number. I call him and talk to him because you know, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I need to get somewhere where I can call. So finally get a little bit of cell service, and I, you know, call the Rescue Foundation and tell them where I've seen some of these. And they said 1,500, the Little San Simeon. The Little San Simeon outpost, 1,500 rescues here. Starving to death. Now think about it, starving. Now, everybody says, oh, it's the rotation between the anchovies and the sardines. Bullshit. You know, I talked to lots of the fishermen. Now, when we talk genocide, you think they're all dead? Of course they're not all dead, please. I mean, it's just, boom. This is a genocide event. You know? You think that Hitler invented, the Germans invented genocide, you know nothing about the American West. Well, Stegner, my mentor. It's so true. You know, did they try to genocide the Jews? Yeah. Are there still Jews? Yeah. Did they try to genocide? They did genocide the natives. Are there still coastal natives? Very few, but some. That's what's going on with the Pacific Ocean. So, 1,500 starving to death. Now I'm like, oh, rotation between anchovies and sardines. You don't think if you're starving to death, they'd be eating anchovies? I don't think they're picky. So, I'm talking to these cultural theme park old 70-year-olds who think they're teenagers that live in these little coastal towns from all over Michigan. I come from Michigan. I come from Ohio. They're all from Michigan. Everybody here is from Michigan or Ohio. I mean, it's unfucking-believable. And so, we volunteer. They stand out there by the fence, which you can pull right up the one, and there's the elephant seals. I got to see them. I got great videos of them. They stand right up there off the fence. Oh, they're doing healthy. How the fuck would you know? The number's so I'm listening to them. Well, on further review, Now I've talked to multiple rescue societies and multiple people up through here I got in the Central Coast and talking to people that really know. Oh no, I was wrong about that, in my first pieces. They're rescuing just as many mama elephant seals as they are sea lions starving to death. So these assholes that are sitting down there on the fence, that's the point. Everybody's an expert when they don't do any work. They don't do any work. So going along through the cliffs, the tide pools is what, it really takes me back. I've been to, I know where the infamous tide pools are. The famous tide pools. It's spring. They're bleached out. There's nothing in any of them. I'm not even seeing, once in a while I'll see a little teeny crab. Now, they say the L.A., the crab's all over, so anyway, I'm making my way up through the cliffs. Get out there across the top. Wow, sleeping on the ridges. Can hear the elephant seals bark at night. Wow, how magnificent. I slept in some amazing places, some incredible places. So I get up there. I'm up there at Gorda, and I'm way out there past Gorda. And, there's no cell phone. There's no internet. There's no water. There's no nothing. What view? Oh, it's so grand. Just cars zipping up and back, looking, thinking that's, in their cool car, thinking they're a teenager again. So I'm about to pull out, and I knock my water bottle over with my elbow. Oh, my God, you dumbass, and it spills. I'm like, oh, no. So I'm like, I got to hitchhike. So I tried to hitchhike for hours. Nothing. I even talked to people, hey, well, we're going over to Jade Cove. I said, yeah, that's where I'm going. I'm going to camp there tonight. Can you give me a ride? Well, we'll talk about, But nobody. So I finally, in the evening, I said, I got to get to some water. So I had to reverse and walk back to Gorda, because there's a little store there. I'd get some water, and slip on the ridge to back at it again. But it really takes me back. There's some cool people around, but very few, the young baby wolves. So walking across there through the Grand Tunnel. Oh, my God, what a tunnel. How about the bridge out there? But right there by the bridge is where Henry Miller's house is. People don't know there's a few houses tucked up in their mountains in Big Sur, above Big Sur, up here on the south side. There's these giant, iconic ponderosa pines out there. Magnificent. They're iconic. Very iconic. And I get up there, and I think there's 6 of them. They're dead. They're old. Every one of them dead. What a metaphor. Standing there on the ridge, dead. And so, talking to people, oh yeah, it's the solar radiation. These are 150-year-old trees. I'm older than that. I'm like, really? Much older than that. I don't know why I use the number 150. The young ones are that. Just think about when they're cutting down the redwoods, cutting down 3,000-year-old, 4,000-year-old cathedrals by the hundreds, one after another. Think about the guy that's doing that. Think about how evil and sick men are. Dead. Starving seals. Now, I finally found a healthy group of sea lions. I have found one. And some healthy seals. I finally found some. And they're there. And, it's so stark. And I took video of them so you can see, and sea otters, what the difference of a healthy one looks like what I'm seeing. The unhealthy ones. The healthy ones right now, they're so big and fat and lounging out, under the pier at Santa Cruz up there. They're all there. They sleep up on the wood. They always have. There's dozens and dozens of them there, and they're big and fat and happy in Monterey Bay, and I can tell you why. And I'll talk that when I get there. And same with the seals. There's very healthy, big fat seals and sea otters in Cannery Row, American Canned Row. So, coming up over across the top, of course, then I get to Henry Miller's library. Oh boy, how grand. The literature half of this journey's been incredible. Tracing some of the old Mormon battalion footsteps of my grandfather, my great-great-grandfather, the guy who found the gold at Sutter's Mill. The customs house in Monterey. But so I get to Henry Miller, and then, of course, I can sleep in the redwood. Met a guy who's riding his bike all over the United States, just doing it. He'd been everywhere, all over the country. Met a girl riding her bike from Sonoma County down to Santa Barbara. She gave me some cannabis oil that she made for my feet. Met a guy from Spain, sleeping in the redwoods. Wow. How great. Met some cool people out through there. Big Sur's great, by the way. Little teeny library up there. One computer in it. I uploaded some stuff there. So Big Sur, coming back down, the whole thing. All the campgrounds, all the beauty, all the way across there. I'm trying to catch a little Wi-Fi here and there. Somebody has some here and there. Just camping. And so get down across through all the way through there, and then opens up that long trek to Monterey, to Carmel. So get to Carmel. I slept on the beach at Carmel and Carmel Cove. Wow. Right where it gets tight and those huge waves. It got really cold that night. That's the worst night I had. Really cold. It was a tough night. Got up in the morning, stagger up. I'm up before the sun comes up every day. I like to watch the sun come up, and it's cold. And so I end up right there at the Carmel Mission. From St. Francis of the Redwoods to the Carmel Mission, I says, walking down, there's already church services going. People are already there early in the morning. I'm talking to a woman. She says, "Oh, you're making a pilgrimage." I says, "Yeah, I guess I am." So Carmel, of course, up there on the ridge of the freaking golf course, I can kiss my ass. You want to take our sunlight drive with it? No. Fuck no. Up over the hill, that's a trek right there. That's a little trek, over the hill to Monterey. Wow. What a place Monterey is. The history and, the old capital. Robert Louis Stevenson. Of course, John Steinbeck. So, Cannery Row's gone. Every single cultural community in California, you can't tell one from the other. You cannot tell one from. All they are $60 entrees, bars, coffee shops, imported Chinese goods with made in everything, just stamping a different word out. Santa Cruz, Monterey, freaking Huntington Beach, freaking whatever. Usury Complex on Balco. No one cares. No one cares. So I have dozens and dozens and dozens, probably hundreds of videos that I have no way to get them up. I'm, slipping one up here and there, whatever I can get. Because sometimes some of them upload, sometimes won't. Because I got such shitty Wi-Fi everywhere I go. So, up over the hill, Monterey. Oh my God, what a place! You can just see how the art oozes from there. And the old custom house I did. What's a tariff? When this was Mexico, they used tariffs, block imported Chinese to protect their economies. They knew even then. You go all the way back. Monterey's so old, so grand. Just oozes. And so the bay, Monterey Bay, Cannery Row, John Steinbeck, what happened to all the sardines? Oh, they're in a can. So I do a lot of work there. Spent a lot of time historically doing a lot of work there. Was able to use their library right there. The history there, the old Capitol. You can see why the Capitol was there, the old Capitol. It has everything. It's one magnificent gem. Well, Monterey Bay is protected. That's one thing that the California colleges absolutely got it. It is protected. Big time protected from the fishing industry, from the freaking oil. It was destroyed, annihilated. It's protected big time. Not only that, the aquarium, which is connected, which is the aquarium, where's the last thing? The aquarium, what a joke. People saying, oh, the water's heated up. So I'm talking to the one marine biologist. I said, what's the temperature out there today? 56 degrees. What's this supposed to be? 56 degrees. So, oh, really, this is all from the water heating up? They're such fools. But, they protect the sardine. The sardine thing is, so there are sardines in Monterey Bay. They're there. They're catching them. I stood with fishermen yesterday at the pier at Santa Cruz, watched them catch sardines. The sea lions are very healthy laying up under there. That's the only place because it's protected, it's whatever, and it's where the last pod are at. It's managed. It's micromanaged by the California freaking departments. Micromanaged, big time. It's protected, so there are some pockets. But the rest of it, oh, hell no. So, 1,500 just the San Simeon outpost alone. So we're talking by the thousands of dead pups and dead sea lions by the thousands. No, sir. The fishing industry has confirmed it for me for 3 years. I talked to so many fishermen up and down through Alaska. Commercial fishermen call me all the time. By the way, our buddy Tim up in Oregon, he's been doing a lot of, driving around and stopping in these places. He stopped in Brookings, Oregon the other day and talked to them about the crab and where they can them. And he says, it's a nightmare. They're putting on no weight. They got no freaking nothing. And so it's a disaster up and down. It's been confirmed by multiple people, by everybody. I just had to see it with my own eyes. The Pacific Ocean's in a free fall. Absolutely free fall. So, first off, the tide pools. I mean, I'm in those infamous tide pools in Carmel. The infamous ones around it, right there. They're so famous for the big clam rises and the big mussel rises. No clam or mussel rises. No, I haven't seen one single starfish. I've looked at tens of thousands of freaking tide pools. No sea anemones, no shit. They look like they're bleached. Everybody knows it down here. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, it's just where the ocean's heated up. When it's been confirmed to me, Santa Cruz, the water temperature is not that much different. What's Fukushima? Oh, no, this old asshole's arguing with me. Oh, no, Fukushima, the elephant seals have no freaking pressure. I says, yeah, they have one enemy. No, they don't. I have video of this, too. Yeah. I said, yes, they do. Fukushima. Oh, no, they're no threat. Oh, really? You arrogant fuck? That's the California. Because they're so comfortable down here. Because they got rising freaking rising real estate values. Now, you don't own anything. You don't own a house. You're not part of the so-called asset class. You're fucked. You're homeless. Homeless population down here is gigantic. I ended up with a protest by default yesterday up on the pier at not on the pier, up on the cliff. Not on Pleasure Point, on the opposite one where the little surfer museum is, or the old church. That incredible place. There was a protest going on there about solitary confinement, which was great that I stumbled on that. So I got some great video there. I got some great video at the old roller coaster. Got some great video, Capitola, because I got kicked off the one. Now, between Monterey Bay and here, wow, you can walk on a bike trail for a big portion of it, almost 20 miles of it. So it's an easy walk out through the sand dunes and whatever. And the sea life out there is no sea life. I mean, that's what really taken me back. So I get up there, and then you get into the migrant worker. Oh, my God, could Steinbeck have a heyday. And I had to cover my face the whole time, and I was warned. The pesticide smell is epic out there. It's so strong. I mean, it's horrible. And they're picking the strawberries right now. And so, so the hardcore romance of the exploited labor, like Steinbeck wrote on Cannery Row, what did he use the term, the chinks, the Polacks, blah, blah, blah. Now it's the Mexico. It's grotesque out there as far, you can just smell it. I had to walk with the thing over my face the whole time. But it's hardcore out there. Watching, oh my God. It's all Mexican, 100%, almost 100% Mexican. And it's, migrant workers, exploited workers. But what a jam, what a romance that place. I did some stuff on the old, I did some really great videos on the old Del Monte route, the old tracks that go through. That's the old Del Monte route. Wow. I'm going to do some more today on that old route because it runs right through here to Santa Cruz all the way down to, Monterey Bay, the old Del Monte route. Wow. The literature, the history. Whoa. Then I got, then Moss Landing there, at the power plant there. I can't overstate Moss Landing. It's empty. Those great, incredible marshes. Those marshes are empty. This is spring. Of course, drought from hell. Get ready, California, because there's no snowpack. This is going to get ugly and epic here. It already has. Oh, this drought is epic here. Those marshes are empty. No shorebirds, and it's just that the pesticides have killed all them. I mean, we're talking thousands and thousands of birds in those estuaries. They're empty. There's hardly even any water in them. I mean, you can the smell out there. Oh my God, about choke you. I mean, so, and I was able to clip across that fast because it was an easy walk for most of it. And I got up here, got kicked off, so ended up on the bus from Watsonville to here. So I missed Capitola and the concrete ship. So, some people from YouTube called me up, met me, that live here their whole lives, took me on the ground. Oh my God. How about that little cove from here here, Santa Cruz over to Capitola. Oh, they says, oh, that piece of shit Mark Zuckerberg, that little thief's got a house right here. I says, yeah, we have to throw him overboard. You know, America, home of the thief, home of the coward. But everybody's so comfortable and in denial, but everybody's got cancer down here. Everybody you talk to. Oh, my brother died. My father died. My sister died. 2012, 2013, 2014. Leukemia. I mean, it's heartbreaking. Doesn't that alarm you? Non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I met a guy from Hawaii. Oh, my brother just died. Non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in Hawaii. Doesn't Fukushima? Oh, no. Because that's their dogma. You know, Henry Miller's. Put aside your dogma in his bathroom. Got to go in Henry Miller's bathroom. Now, you know about Henry Miller's rant inside his bathroom. By the way, he was one incredible genius. He could go, and then he'd go some more. He reminded me a lot of Picasso. He would look like him. You know, of course, people say I look like Henry Miller now. I said, well, I got a little more hair on top, you know, but I got an excuse, chemo. So, Steinbeck, I did a lot of Steinbeck work. I did a lot of historical work for, you know, that incredible historical place. Oh, my God. The old Mexican flag that's in the MoM, not the MoMA, in the little museum there. But it's a cultural, drunken theme. Cannery Row's gone. Cannery Row now is Skid Row. Most California, here in Santa Cruz, I hit all the public. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, it's insanity over there. You go to the Santa Cruz, and I'll get a video there. It is pure insanity over there. It will blow your fucking mind. I've never seen anything like it. And I hit them all. And I've been all over the country. Nothing like it. Homeless population here is gigantic. You know, all up and down California. Gigantic. So, what I've seen with my own eyes is confirmed. This walk has broke my heart. This walk, I've literally had tears going down my cheeks many times. This walk has broke my heart. Not just because of the dead ecology. And by the way, I love the environment. I love the ecology. And I'm smart enough and been around long enough to always understand that this area, and this California, was the greatest ecosystem ever created by whatever the creator was. You know, this was the place. You know, Diablo Canyon, I spent some time with the Chumash, you know, telling me about when they built Diablo Canyon, their ancient burial grounds, they just pushed them up in piles. It's outrageous. Diablo Canyon is a freaking nightmare. You know, by the way, the piers, at the bottom of the piers, all the piers which are so famous for the purples and the reds, the starfish, the sea anemones, the color, they're bare. They're bare. I mean, they've got buildup on them. Of course they got buildup from, you know, multiple years of buildup, but they got no, you know, the color. It's not there. It looks like it's been bleached, stark. Sea lions dying by the thousands, by the many thousands. Starvation. You know, and elephant seals been confirmed to me. The liars out there on the point. You know, I'd like to knock that old fucking punk out. If I was his age, I would kick his ass. But, you know, I don't fight with people older than me. You know, but I guess, I mean, George, you're going to let me tend them rabbits. Oh, boy. George should have whacked freaking Lenny a long time ago when he cut down the freaking redwoods. I mean, think about it. It's cathedrals, these redwoods. The greatest trees on the face of the earth, the oldest trees on the face of the earth, cutting them down by the hundreds. California, the passive-aggressive genociders that they are, it's true. It's true. They raped the greatest landscape on earth, and they raped it quickly. Now, my grandfather, the Old Town, my great-great-grandfather, Abe the First, the Mormon Battalion, that's where he learned his ways. He learned his ways. You know, he was a so-called communist before in Nauvoo with Brigham Young. He learned his ways from the indigenous people in San Diego. He walked all the way up through here, right through Monterey. Spent a lot of time in Monterey. Learned his ways. You know, I love how they give Jane Marshall the credit for finding the gold at Sears. I can't believe the Mormons don't sensationalize this. I'll write a book because it's, you know, even the dean at the university says, Kevin, you're a walking, talking history book. You need to finish your book. I said, I'm working on it. He says, I've been hearing that since 1988. Well, something happened on the way to that place. They threw an American nuclearism flag in my face. Those are the guys that found the gold of Seward Mill. They were not communist, communist. The United Order, 100% redistribution. They had their own country here in Western, called Deseret, their own country. Owned it also. I grew up in the sand pits. The purest, whitest sand in the world is in Brigham City, Utah. My family owned those pits. I grew up in it. That's stuff like glass, ancient like Bonneville washer. They learned to make bar tile down here, passed on for 3 generations. Lightning killed my great-grandfather, struck by lightning. Mama, young woman, incredible woman, died in childbirth. You know, that incredible, those sand pits, not with a kiln, baked them in the earth. They're on my mom's house. They're all over. That's where I learned. Started plastering at 15 years old because of that. Such a romance with the sand and the landscape. It was taught to me by generations. My grandfather didn't teach me. I taught myself in that sand pit watching. I taught myself. I was self-taught. I watched him freaking, pour those freaking, mix the sand and the clay and the lime. That's all. That's all. I wouldn't switch to the fake stuff. I would not exploit labor. And I really didn't even know about that when I was younger, about my grandfather and his path. But I ended up so much like him, through my DNA, I guess. I don't know. But I was in love with it. In love with the landscape. California, the greatest ecosystem in the world, the greatest trees in the world, the greatest waterfalls in the world. There's places that say along the Amazon might rival it. I don't know. I don't think so. They don't have these trees. These trees are spectacular. This place is spectacular. California, Monterey. Oh my God! You can see why Steinbeck and all of them were there. Robert Louis Steves. Oh my God! It could still be done. I'll do it. You go through Salinas, you go through Steinbeck's place. It's still all there. As far as the hardcore freaking romance, it's hardcore out there. Really hardcore. It's the only place left probably in America that the hardcore exploited working class in a dramatic way like that still exists. And it's still Cannery Row out there. Cannery Row has turned into a culture drunken theme park. Every coastal community in California, and I've been on every single one of them now. I haven't missed one. From San Francisco down the last 3 years. I covered the last 2 last night. Now somebody took me over there. Incredible place. I saved the best for last. Holy Capitola. Now, why is it called Capitola? The Mexican capital. People don't forget when I've got video of the tree, on the plaque where they did the exchange from Spain to Mexico. It became Mexico. And the capital of Mexico, Monterey, Holy Capitola, right here. They picked the right place. So, by the way, San Luis Obispo's little downtown is awesome, too. But there's been a lot of good things done. There's a lot of great Californians. Don't get me wrong. When I go off, I'm from California. Most of them aren't even California. The salt of the earth of California has been here. They're wonderful people. Do not kid yourself. When I'm talking, I'm speaking in the aggregate. There's incredible, wonderful salt of the earth, born and raised and bred here their whole life that are in symphony and love this place. I bet there's 45 million people here driving around the cultural theme park from all over the world. They come here, get drunk. You can go to, I spend my summers at Pacific Beach a lot of times. I take the train, because the old Del Monte's tore out of here, but there's the train down there. I used to love San Diego. When I was young, San Diego County had 300,000 people, and it has 5 million. It's run over to the sea. They've abused it. The dog walkers all over. There's no sea lions. There's no freaking sea turtles or none, because how can they compete with freaking hundreds of thousands of dog walkers? Carlsbad ruin. Lori and I stood at the old St. Michael's Church and did Google American Toxic, and that video of us with the picture. Oh, that could be my favorite video of all time ever. It shows the separation, her bloodlines, my bloodlines. It's a perfect metaphorical masterpiece. My videos are pieces of art. They are incredible pieces of art. That's a masterpiece, that piece. I always wanted to get married at that church of St. Michael's by the Sea. That's another thing that kills me, St. Francis of the Redwoods. I thought St. Francis was the anti-usury saint. So isn't that what he named himself? I'm an anti-globalist. I'm an 99%, 1%er. I'm anti-social inequality. What's a tariff? Even the Mexican government knew it in Monterey. They had tariffs at the sea. Hamilton, that formed this country. You have to protect your economies. They don't know how. People don't even know what tariff. They rely on ignorance. American drunk on ignorance and proud of it. So they flock into these California community things and just go berserk. Get freaking drunk and disorderly and freaking pass out and then they sleep till noon. So PB, all of them. You want California on the coastal community? Get up in the morning. Because because they're all drunk and freak things, and you got it all to yourself. You can walk down the middle of the streets, for real, in the morning. That's when you hear the ecology. That's when the birds are alive. That's when they have their only chance. That's when you'll find the only shorebirds feeding on the things, washing, doing their dance along the freaking sand. The sandpipers. It's the only time you'll see it. The only time that beautiful, elegant dance. Because you can't see it. How can they compete with motorcycle riders dressed up as cartoon characters and old 75-year-old freaking drunken, well, not even drunken, dog walkers? I mean, that's what I want to do in my golden years. Walk around, pick up Fifi and Fufu's dog shit with a plastic bag. It's like I'm going to be a middle-aged golfer, and that's all I'm going to do, sit around the golf course and get drunk. I used to tell my daughters, I ever turn into one of those guys, you take a 9-iron, you hit me in the back there. And by the way, I'm a very good golfer when I was young. Golf's for very, very, very old people and very, very young people. My dad used to call it cow pasture pool. What a joke. I don't want to be one of those. I never have. I want to live my life. I'm not going to sit and fucking retrospect. That's all they do. Everything's retrospect here. We're trying to turn 40-year-old fucking stuff into art. Monterey, we're going to have the Monterey music scene turned into a museum. What? It's not even 30, 40 years old. Really? So we're trying to capture this cultural, it's not a cultural theme park, it's just a theme park. A drunk theme park. The only cultural piece of it, and I did this great video at the roller coaster. That's it. Think about that. The only true cultural theme park of California is here at Santa Cruz, the roller coaster, and, the carousel, 1911, I believe. And the roller coaster's been here since 1924. There's a cultural theme park at the theme park. The rest of it's just a drunken theme park. There's no cultural element about it. It's disgusting. Everybody's comfortably numb on their fucking personal Ponzi scheme they build up called their house. That's why they won't talk about Fukushima. I equate it to a sexually abused child. They compartmentalize the truth. Pacific Ocean is in free fall. It's dying. It's unarguable. You can argue how, why, when. Now I'll continue my walk. I'm tired. I'm wore out. Big time. I'm heartbroken. This walk has broke my heart. Honestly, it has broke my heart. It's made me cry multiple times. I've got to sleep in some incredible places. I got to see the last of it. Let's hope. And everybody says, it's going to... No. The Mighty Blue Lady, she'll fight back. That is the most powerful being on this earth, the Mighty Blue Lady. No match for her, mankind. She's going to fight back. There's no doubt in my mind she's going to fight back. Now, will she recover? I don't know. Will it mutate and alter what is be? Oh, I got an update, too, on, I got to talk to one of the attorneys yesterday on the USS Reagan. Of course, General Electric filed a motion to have it throw out on some bullshit agreement that was signed by Barry Antoinette and his his pro-nuclear disrespect. My mother was a downwinder. I disrespected Barry Antoinette, Barack Obama. The right, the left, they're insane. It's generational arrogance. Their parents die of leukemia. They're people that disrespect assholes. They don't care. So they pushed a bullshit freaking law through that's saying that even Japan falls into Price-Anderson, which I told you. I told you the American taxpayer will freaking foot the bill of Japan. They filed a motion saying just that. They filed a motion said that the Obama administration said the act was retro, which we know is an illegal act because only Congress can make law, but we know how that goes. Doesn't matter. No, there is no wrong or right. There's no popular opinion. So it holds no merit. I'm sure it will. Well, I'm not sure. I shouldn't say I'm sure because anything can happen. It'll get thrown out and the case will continue to go forward. It's going to be a big, big, big deal because it's been opened up to General Electric, Toshiba, all of them, and it's going to be class action, and it's going to be all 800,000 military personnel. They human lab ratted those people. They knew. I'm the ones that first gave the attorneys the emails. And they were leaked to me. The Admiral said it straight up. They knew day one. John Holdren, the eugenics, I'm headed up that way. I protested at Livermore many times. The head of the snake. This whole dog and pony show is the Manhattan Project opened up and never turned off. And the dog and pony show is being run by Cal Berkeley and Livermore. Look it up, John Holdren. Look up John Holdren, head of the science and technology team. And, I have, I'll write my books. I got enough knowledge in here from these PhDs to write dozens and dozens of books. Well, my videos are books. It is modern day literature. You just can't see. Google's nothing but a library. It's a reference library. That's all. You know, and you can reference these incredible pieces of art, all this good stuff. Yeah, it's been abused and upside down. Oh, the dollar's going to crash when the dollar gets healthier. Gold's going to crash when gold makes, or gold's going to go up when gold crashes. Silver's going to go to the moon when silver crashes. The stock market's going to crash when it makes the greatest freaking gains in freaking U.S. market history, and you're going to listen to those guys over and over. You know, to be contemporized right now, to have a zillion views right now, have people is a failure. Up is down, black is white, right? It's compartmentalization. It's like an abused child. You were sexually abused as a child, a woman, you know, or a man, whatever. You compartmentalize. You're not about to talk about that. You're not about to bring those dragons out. You're going to let them eat you up your whole life. That's what Fukushima is. Right to their own death. And I'm here to tell you, I spoke with a woman who has cancer last night. Spent time with her, trying to get her mentally prepared for her fight, which I do. The hospital, I'm head of our, well, I was head of, I'm here to tell you, if you got cancer, you can go on to the softball all you want. You throw the gloves off and you stand up there and you put your fists up. Get your fist up in front of your face, man or woman. Get them up in front of your face and you get ready to fight. Because there's only one way you survive this brutal, iconic freaking of our time, the iconic thumbprint of our time, cancer. The only way you fight, you got to fight it. You have to and nobody's going to fight it for you. Your spouse isn't going to fight it for you. Your friends, your community, yeah, you need a support group. It's very important. I'm all for support groups. But when it individually comes down, you have to narrowly focus in, and you have to fight. You have to throw down, and that's what I've done. I was given 2 months to live, no chance. The type of leukemia I have is nobody survives it. The very first guy documented that's done ML de novo in this severity without a bone marrow transplant. Celeste did the bone marrow transplant. LDS says that, you know, she's been there for decades. I prepared her, and she's hardcore. She's in New York City. Old supermodel who's, she's a piece of work. Kevin, I got to tell you, she's mean. You know, there's a lot of them are tough love in there. I got to tell you, Kevin, I really love you and the way you fought this. And I prepared your paperwork when you come in. I expected to be preparing your paperwork within a few days going out dead. Or, you know, preparing for hospice, because it's a horrible way to die. She says, you're the only red 10. We rank you 1 to 10, then we go red. She says, you're the only red 10 I ever seen walk out of here. Ever. That incredible group of doctors that saved my life that I fought. I threw the gloves off, and I says, come on, let's do it. Let's do it. I don't give a fuck how big you are. I don't care who you are. Let's do it. I don't care what you're bringing. Let's go. Let's do it. And I just walked. I fought through it. I couldn't even walk a few steps. The chemo took me down to nothing. I was down to 130 pounds. I was in perfectly good condition. Fukushima's going to give you leukemia. It's going to give you leukemia. It's going to be, very shortly thereafter, boom, stomach ache. Horrible. I never had pain like this. By the way, the pain was so horrible and it was so epic. That's the reason I'm like, get the chemo on me. It misdiagnosed over and over and over. Diagnosed myself because of my history. What I knew. Thank God for the family friend, Vincent Hansen, who knew my uncle, the famous heart surgeon, didn't even like me, the neurosurgeon. Everybody says, oh, you're just like him. You talk just like him. You act just like him. He died, the famous Thomas Blanch, the famous, incredible heart surgeon. Marson, that's my family. They don't like me, by the way, that part of the family. They don't like my ways, whatever, but he's like, you just, but Vincent did. Vincent had tears in his eyes. The old school gynecologist, Kevin. I grew up in southern Utah. To open their test, I watched my father and my brother die of thyroid cancer. It's like, they open their test, they're retrospective. No, they're not. Everything's retrospective to you in California. No, it's not. Half-life of plutonium, 24,500 years. Mike Lee, that argument he and I had about my dad died very young, leukemia, like, you just disrespectful fucker. You just like Barack Obama. His mother dies very young, a downwinder. You disrespectful fucker. You know how young that beautiful woman was? So disrespectful. They're downwinders. There's only one cause of those kind of cancers. Only one. Exposure to nuclear fallout. 350 open air tests in Nevada. It's very real. You can go in denial. I equate it much to the doctor in Germany who came up with germ theory 100 years before Louis Pasteur. Not only did they throw him in the insane asylum, they killed him inside the insane asylum 14 days later. Even Louis Pasteur in those days, the vast majority of the population says, oh, he's crazy. These little germ theory, this guy is freaking some kind of science fiction fairy tale lunatic. 80% of the population freaking denied him. said he was crazy. I mean, we deny facts. We try to go and, Harold, God will take care of me. I'll say it just like this. John Steinbeck. I say this over. I hand them East of Eden, and I make all the patients read the last chapter. I'm going to put it all in God's hands. Remember at the East of Eden, John Steinbeck, East of Eden? Timshel, thou mayest. That's the old Hebrew word from the Old Testament. Men are responsible for their actions. That's what it means. That means, so God helps those who help themselves. So you throw the gloves off. You go toe-to-toe. That's why girls out-survive men. Fight like a girl. That logo comes from leukemia. Fight like a girl. That's the orange thing. Fight like a girl. Girls out-survive men, yet it affects girls so dramatically more because of bone density, because of fighters. They're inherently natural fighters. They don't whack themselves. Men kill themselves. Take the easy way out. I watched it. You know, people I've watched, my one friend cut his freaking central line off with a pair of scissors. I mean, it's a brutal way to go. I tell everybody I'm going to climb up to the freaking top of the cliff, which I did. I almost, I was so frustrated and I was so heartbroken. I was fighting so hard of this disease, up there in Mount Ogden. I hiked up through the waterfall, up through the bag, which is insane. That's insane to do when you're not sick. Stood on that cliff and I was so heartbroken. I said, I'll jump off the cliff head first before I freaking die like this. Brutal way to die. God, whatever. They only take the freaking strong. All my friends have passed in front of me. I've been have a lot of time to think about it. Made me cry. My close, beautiful friend Paul. Kevin and Carla, they called us. We're so close in the hospital. To watch her die like that. She just ran the Ogden Marathon. People training in Moab, Utah. Cancer capital of the world. No one's going to tell you. It's the red dust. That group of us that went in there, there's 2 of us left alive. Out of about 40. Two. Me and Marshall. He's the guy that's got the AIDS hormone injected into him. They're trying anything on him. They've tried everything. 2 different bone marrow transplants as well, but they don't give up. We don't give up. Life is a fight. You take the gloves off. That's what this walk has been. People don't understand me and my intense and my hardcore way. I didn't want to die. I love my grandchildren. I love my life. I love my family. This walk has broke my heart. It really has broke my heart. The arrogance of America, the destroying of the ecology, all of it. It's been so emotional. Sleeping on the cliffs with incredible wildlife and this incredible piece of scenery. No one's ever offered me a ride. I've had to try to hitchhike a few times. It doesn't work. Somebody says you walked every square inch. There's 2 little places I got rides. One, a guy put me up in a van out there by the one cliff, and I rode for a while there. But parts of it I've walked multiple times because I've run out of water and had to go back. This walk has broke my heart. Literally broke my heart. The ocean, the ecology, Kevin by the sea. See Kevin by the sea. Wow, what a generational arrogance. The greatest grotesque generational arrogance fucks that ever walked. Well, I don't know. The guys that cut down all the redwood, they were pretty generational, ignorant fuck Stanford and his fucking merry man. The passive aggressive monster called California. Cal, capital I, foreign, capital I, yeah. Disgusting. Give it back to the Mexicans. At least they knew how to fucking use a tariff. Disgusting what they've fucking done. Steinbeck Row, you ought to see it down there. It's fucking grotesque. It's all fucking gone. That great, incredible place, Cannery Row's gone. It's disgusting. I've got some great videos, but the walk goes on today. I'll move on. Along the one out by the sea, on the cliffs. See Kevin by the sea. Fight for his life. Fight for humanity. Fight for all our lives. What a generational bunch of arrogant fucks called California. So, see you by the sea. Stay tuned.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. Twin Gate 311.